with the Mkb. So here is it, SME innovation stimulation for regions within the region and top sectors, shortly MIT or MIT. This instrument has several sub-instruments like feasibility studies, like knowledge vouchers, and also loans. But I'm only going to talk about one sub-instrument here. One of the reasons is because most of the others are not available, and the knowledge vouchers is really a different, let's say, a ballpark. If you're interested in that, then you're also welcome to contact me separately. But in the MIT collaboration projects, it's very much for the development or improvement of product, processes, and services. One SME can submit a grant application on behalf of a consortium, which has to consist of at least 2 SMEs. Maximum duration 2 years. And you can find more information on rvo.nl. Unfortunately, for the ones that are not native Dutch speaking, the English side, last time I checked, and that was last week, was not really very good. So try either Google Translate or find a native or better Dutch speaking person if you have trouble there. But at least for most of these grants, you can put the application in English. But again, depending on where you apply, and always make sure that you inform them in ahead of time that you're not going to apply in Dutch. So that's the sectors that you're going to apply in. It has to be one of these now listed. These sectors represent what the Dutch government has selected as our top sectors. So where most of the industry and innovation is taking place / should be taking place. They all speak for themselves, I think, except the one that's called HTSM/ICT. ICT is the information technology, information and communication technology sector. HTSM is the high-tech something and materials sector. So I don't know what the S was for, but if you are doing something high-tech, materials, production, machining, all that can be in that sector. Funding rules, only the small, medium-sized enterprises will get funding, and they get 35% of eligible costs, either for industrial research, which is the knowledge, skills for products, processes, and services, or experimental research, and then it's more the collection and shaping and using of, let's say, more fundamental knowledge to generate novel products, processes, and services. You can have small or large projects, and they're not depending on the amount of participants, they're depending on the amount of money that is spent. So budget for small projects is between 50,000 to 100,000, and the large projects between 200,000 and 350,000. If you're going to use this funding instrument, you have to declare what's called de minimis. So that's the state aid rules from the European Commission, with a maximum acceptance of 200,000 euro from public funds to enterprises over a period of 3 years. Now, I said that only the SMEs get funding. If you want to collaborate together with a research institute, a university, maybe a large customer, this is possible, but they have to provide their own funding. How to apply? Deadline is September 10th, and in this case, this is a cutoff date, which means all the proposals, all the grants will be collected until that date. And then they will go through an evaluation panel, and then the best ones will be selected. You can get funding from the moment that you apply. So suppose this scheme goes open in June, you apply, let's say 1st of July. You could, in principle, declare the costs, ask the cost back or funding for these costs from the 1st of July. But of course, you're spending costs from the 1st of July on your own risk. You can also wait until you get funded, or if you know if you get funded. For example, you say, okay, I deliver the scheme September 10th. With the throughput of the evaluation, I intend to apply by the 1st of January. And in that case, you can get the cost back from the 1st of January. Check where you submit. That can be, if you are more than 50% spending in one region, you will be directed to the regional funding body. So if all your partners are from Limburg, then you can only apply, will get the funding from the LIOF, or from Stimulus, actually, have to be correct there. You have to check your e-erkenning. That is, level 1 is required. It's the lowest level of e-erkenning, but this immediately gives a problem if you are not a Dutch company, Dutch registered, etc., because then you cannot get it. I'm just gonna very quickly quit my Skype. I don't know who's bothering me, but just, I forgot to do that. So we're back here. It takes some time to process the e-erkenning, so start that early, especially if you look at 10th of September. August often is holiday time for people processing e-erkenning, and then I think it is better if you just start asking for it now. It's not very complicated, it just takes time. You have to fill out details on the web portal, and now here comes another long list. So for a Dutch funding instrument, it is quite a bit of trouble that you go through. You have to fill out an application form called aanvraagformulier, and make sure that as a coordinator you have the permission to sign this application form on behalf of all the partners. So if you are doing this together with 2 other SMEs, make sure you have an email at least that says, yes, we are in this project. You have to fill out an SME declaration. This is actually the European Commission's SME declaration. The Netherlands took that as a very handy tool. So they say, okay, if the European Commission says you're an SME, you're an SME. Again, this is not rocket science, but you do have to take, I think, 10 to 15 minutes time to fill out all the details they're asking for, especially about turnover, employees, and if you're owned by a bigger company. If you're owned by a bigger company, for, let's say, more than 25%, you might be in trouble. So there is where you really have to check out what the regulations are. Latest financial report of the coordinator. If you're more than 2 years behind on your financial reports, you might also get disqualification. They don't like that in the Netherlands. Probably you already are then in trouble with the tax office. If you are a startup, then of course you don't need to have this latest financial report, but they will ask replacement documents like a business plan. You need a bank statement that you're economically viable. A declaration of no financial difficulties. This is a document you get from the tax office in the Netherlands.
The different things that we...
Oh, did I? Have some noise on the line. I'll just continue. All right. And you have to make a project plan of 20 pages, which kind of describes the background of your project, the goals of the project, your collaboration with the other partners, what the innovation is about, what your market is that you want to reach, and how you are going to contribute to the goals of the Netherlands with this instrument and using this instrument funding. Yeah, so that was it for the MIT or the MIT.